Greetings, everyone. I am Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of the show. We've got a special guest today. We haven't seen him in a little bit, but he's been here before from Sirius XM's Busted Open Radio, Mr. Dave LaGreca, wearing his Alice Cooper shirt for a reason, right, my friend?
Well, I'm wearing the original band Alice Cooper shirt for a reason. And honestly, this is the first time I've ever been on Sea of Tranquility. I've always done, the horror movies. And so this is like my official first guest appearance, on the main show.
On the main show.
I've never done the main show. We've never talked music. It's the first time. This is the
Well, we
first time.
we talked New Jersey music once before.
Oh, that's true. You know what? I stand corrected. Forget everything I just said the last 30 seconds. Completely erase it from your mind. You're
And
a
we
thousand
talked Black
percent
Sabbath.
right.
You were on the Sabbath Stones once as well. So
But the Sabbath Stones a completely different. That's a spin-off show. That's like
it is a
Maud.
spin-off show.
It's
True.
Maud,
Right.
or
This
Facts
this
of
is just
Life.
its
It's a
own thing.
spin-off.
This is not one
Yeah.
of our panel shows. This is nothing else, right?
Yes. Yes.
Dave and I were just chit-chatting. There's a lot going on over by him with his show on Sirius XM. We'll be hearing news about that in the weeks to come. But for today, we are here to talk about the brand new Alice Cooper Group song, second song they released from the upcoming album, which is called "The Revenge of Alice Cooper," which comes out just a little over a month, right? End of
Yeah.
July, I think it is.
July 25th.
July 25th. So we're about a month and a half away or close to that. So the new song is called Wild Ones. And this just was released a couple days ago. They got the video for it. And apparently, lyrically, they're trying to go for some kind of their take on the Marlon Brando film from 1953, which is called The Wild One, a classic film. And of course, Black Mamba was the first single that came out a couple of months back. So I've listened to it like three times. I don't know how many times you checked it out. I've watched the video. The video is kind of lame for me, but it's cool seeing them. But song
I
is
I
good.
love I actually love the video, and I've actually listened to the new single 16 times.
16. Wow.
16 times. I love it. And by the way, I just want to say this, Pete. I love your review on Black Mamba. As a matter of fact, like what you said, and I actually called you after I watched the video. You were spot on. I think everything you said about the first single that was released was 100% true. A lot of excitement, good introduction, good intro, lazy when it came to the chorus. And I think it really threw off and affected the re-listenability to that song. I really don't go back to that song that much after the first week or two of listening to that single. I think it's a different story with Wild Ones, but I wanted to give you a lot of kudos because I think your review of Black Mamba was spot on.
Well, I mean, to me, there's like it's a song of almost two parts, right? You have that kind of dark and kind of menacing, creepy, gothic vibe of the classic Alice Cooper group in the majority of the song. And then that chorus comes in, and you're like, all right, this almost like doesn't fit or doesn't need to be there, right? We know what we're talking about here. But otherwise, I like the song. I don't know if the yah nonsense should have been there. But a lot of people, some people dig it, and that's fine. I
And
like
that's
the song
fine.
personally.
And I don't, and I actually think, and we'll get into it, I think that this song would have been a more fitting first single from the album than Black Mamba, because Black Mamba, you got, Robbie Krieger on the song, like this
Yeah.
special guest. And I think this single really gets me more excited for what we're going to hear on the 25th of July.
Yeah, I mean this to me, this song is like your basic meat and potatoes original Alice Cooper group type of song. It's like this kind of garage rock kind of thing. And everybody sounds really good on it. I mean, it's got a good solid groove to it. It's got kind of a little bit of a gallop to it, right? I think,
Yeah.
especially when you get to the chorus, which I think is really cool. Alice sounds great. The riffs are really cool. The drumming is really good. I don't know who's playing all the lead guitar on the song, though. It doesn't really sound like Michael Bruce, and he's not really known as like a big lead player, so I'm not really sure like who's playing all that. If it's him or if it's someone else, it's really hard to find info on. I don't know if you've
Yeah, I
checked
haven't
anything.
either. And it made me think, like, I think you're right. I mean, there's not a lot of like solo on it. It's not really highlighted in that way.
No.
One of the things I love about it is what you just said. I think it really does feature Mike and Dennis and Neil. That's why I really love this. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like the Alice Cooper group. And you're right, it has that sound. It has the gallop. I think it's a very memorable song. I
Yeah,
find myself singing it even when I'm not listening to it. But I think the best part about it is that it features, Michael, Dennis, and Neil a lot on the
yeah,
song.
yeah, for sure. And I like the fact there's that little kind of bass solo lick thing that Dennis
Yeah.
does, like right around the midway point, which I think is kind of cool. Yeah, you're right. You listen to it and you're like, all right, that sounds like the old guys, right? It really does. And what I mentioned before that I'm not crazy about the video. Uh, just from it's cool to see them all there playing and hanging out in the studio, but they don't really look like they're having a good time. I wish they like showed a little bit more excitement. I mean, Alice kind of smiles a little bit here and there, but and they're all kind of talking and pointing things out and stuff. But I almost wish there was like a little bit more life to the video itself. And maybe that has nothing to do with them. It's more about whoever produced the video. But otherwise, it's cool seeing them. So I can't really knock it all too much. But the song is really good. I like it.
No, but Pete, you just brought up a really good point. In a lot of ways, and I don't mean this in any disrespect, because I love the video just to see those guys in the same room performing, but they kind of look like tired. Like they look like, they don't look like
That's
they're
my point.
having,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, they don't like they're having a great time. And it makes me wish, man, I wish they would have done this 25 years ago.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Imagine if they did this, in 1990 or like after Kiss got together, like in the late 90s, like 97 or 98. Um, when I see that video, man, I wish they would have done this a little bit sooner.
Because let's be real here. I mean, they're older than we are, right? By a bit. So it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, Alice is 77, and
right.
so you're talking these guys are in their late 70s.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean that's asking a lot. That's why I don't think we're going to see a lot of concerts with them together because I just don't know if they're capable of doing it. They definitely can't do, I would think, an extensive tour by any
No,
stretch.
no. I think
So,
it
and we
isn't the plan
know,
that they will do special appearances here and there, like
yeah,
special shows and whatnot. Yeah, I would think it's probably going to be like headlining shows. I can't imagine that they would bring out these guys for like the Priest Alice co-headline tour. I would imagine that's probably not going to happen. Or maybe you will. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
who
Where
knows?
do most of these guys live now? I have no idea where the rest of the guys are like situated here in the country.
As far as I know, I think they're more local, like in Connecticut. Dennis and Neil, I think,
Well,
are
Neil,
in
yeah, I know
Connecticut.
Neil's kind of local because I know Neil used to do a lot of local shows here for quite a bit, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, like various clubs he would show up. He had that little side band going on, but I wasn't really sure where the rest of the band were
Yeah,
situated.
and Dennis and Neil were kind of mainstays, of people who obviously listen to you probably are aware of Chiller. They would be like, I remember going to meet them back in the 90s at Chiller Theater, which is a big horror music convention here in New Jersey. And the last I heard, Mike was out on the West Coast in Arizona. I don't know if he's still there or not. So, yeah. So, and Alice is obviously from Arizona, lives
Yeah,
out in Arizona as well. So,
yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it'll have to be a special occasion, I would think, to bring them all together to play like a small set or whatever it is that they might have planned down the road. But I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the album because I think I was just looking that there's a significant amount of songs on the record, so we've only heard the two. I'm almost at the point where it's like I don't know if I want to hear anymore. I just want to hear the album. I don't like when they release like three, four, five songs before the album comes out. It's just if you're gonna throw me one, that's great. Two, maybe I'll listen to the both. This is rare, Dave. I generally speaking, with bands I really like, when they start releasing these pre-singles, I don't like listening to like all of them. I'll generally I'll listen to one. Sometimes I won't listen to any. I just want to hear the album start to finish the way it's supposed to be presented, not when they force feed you like half the album in the weeks leading up to it. I'm not a big fan of that.
I'm not a fan of it either. It's a different world. Like I know Alice's last album, Road, he released three singles
Yeah.
before the album came out. I'm with you. I'm hoping that this is going to be it, but I would have to think they're probably going to release one more single before we get to the 25th of July. And
Probably
I'm
around
with you.
July
I'd
4th, I
rather,
would think. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, probably. I would think that, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've already had like the poster where they've had some bonus tracks that's been released as well. So like I think they've done a good job promoting this. I think people are excited. I think fans are excited. There's a lot of buzz, which you don't know, Pete. I mean, the last time that this band has put out an album was in 1973.
Yeah.
So that's a long time ago. And this is now Alice Cooper's 30th album. but it seems like there is a lot of buzz and a lot of momentum about the release of this album, it seems.
Well, it's a beloved lineup for one, right? I mean, Alice has a lot of fans who maybe came on board with his music from Welcome to My Nightmare and onwards, right? But for all the folks who are, obviously older than you and I, who were with this band from the very, very beginning, they've waited a long time for this, like a
Yeah.
long, long time. I mean, just all you need to do to understand this whole concept is go watch the video. I'll put the link down below in the comments for folks who haven't seen or heard this song yet. Go watch this video and go look at all the comments down below. There are hundreds of comments, probably more than that. And so many of them you can tell are from people who were listening to Billion Dollar Babies and Killers and all those albums in the early 70s when they were teenagers. And
Yeah.
that's a long time ago. That's
It's a
50
very
some odd years ago.
it's a very long time ago. And I think Pete, I know that you've said it on your show. You didn't get into Alice until much later on.
Much later.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I got into Alice and he's been my favorite ever since in 86. So I got into him when he made his return in 86. But there's something special about that original lineup.
Yeah.
And we weren't even there for to hear that music, but there's just something, there's a chemistry about them that I think is special. And I think that's why there's a lot of buzz. And you have Bob Ezrin back, and Bob Ezrin is, I know, has done the last four Alice solo albums. They've done a lot of he did the original albums, every one of them except for Muscle of Love. When it comes to those classics, Love It to Death, Killer, School's Out, and Billion Dollar Babies, he's on board for this one, which could be a blessing or a curse when it comes to Bob Ezrin. I know everybody has their opinions about Bob Ezrin, and I always kind of compare, and you're a sports guy, Pete. I compare Bob Ezrin to Brett Favre. He's a Hall of Famer, a lot of success, but sometimes he takes too many chances that kind of can frustrate me at times as a fan. That's Bob Ezrin. And I think that's what I love about this new single, Pete, is that there's no horns. There's not a lot of
Go
that
back to basics.
layered
Yeah.
Bob Ezrin production. He kind of just let them go out and play,
Yeah.
which, I think with a lot of the latest Alice Cooper solo albums with Bob Ezrin producing, there's some albums I wish were more raw. That he's layered and he's added a lot of like orchestration or horns where it wasn't needed. I'm glad that he's left this track alone with Wild Ones, and I think that's why I'm such a big fan of it.
You could say it, Dave. Bob knows how to add fluff, right? He does that quite often, but
Sometimes it works and
and not
sometimes it
always, right?
doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
fine.
Yeah.
We all appreciate him for what he's done, but there's times I wish he'd just leave things alone. Sounds like he's left this one alone.
Yeah, so far that's my impression as well. And I will say he has, for me, he's had some really good track record in more recent years because he's done the last handful of Deep Purple albums. He's done a great job on them, and they're also those albums are very, very good because they're capturing the spirit of what Deep Purple is all about. So my impression of these two songs so far is that it sounds very much like a young garage rock band from 1971, right? Or
Now,
at least now many, many years later, but still trying to capture that same spirit. And there's not all this like, I don't really think, again, we haven't heard the whole album, so it's really hard to say, but I don't think he's going to pull a Kiss Destroyer here and all of a sudden
no,
make these, elder statesmen of rock and roll sound all sorts of artsy and all that. I think this is just going to be a raw rock and roll album. And that's what this band is all about in the end.
yeah, and Pete, we've seen it recently with some bands that have come back and made newer albums that they try to sound young or they try to sound like what the music sounds like. It doesn't work, it doesn't click. You know what your fan base is, you know what the fans want to hear, and at least for this track, I think this is what the fan base wants to hear.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I think we've had pretty much universal acclaim on this so far. Again, I've been trying to read as much comments as I can around social media about this, and I think a lot of people like the Black Mamba too, but the aspects that we talked about I think are bugging some people a little bit. But I think this one pretty much I've seen very, very positive comments and feedback. So we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've kind of been reading, and there's some people who don't like it, and that's fine. I've read some comments where people say, hey, this could have been on Road or this could have been on the last few Alice Cooper solo albums. I totally disagree. I think this sounds very unique to the original band, and I love like the last Alice Cooper album wrote. I was a big fan of that album, but this sounds very unique to the original guys.
Yep. Yep. So for everybody watching, if you haven't heard it yet, I will drop the link down below to the Wild Ones video on YouTube. Watch it, see what you think, and put it down in the comments what your opinion is. And if you're looking forward to the Revenge of Alice Cooper coming out in just a little over a month. So, Dave, before we let you go,
Well,
any other last?
before you wrap me up, I got a
Yes,
question for you.
yes,
So for you, Pete, because I know the answer for me, because I'm a diehard Alice Cooper fan. If there is a show with the original band and it's not local, it's you're gonna have to travel for it. Are you willing to travel to see the original band play for the for the first, like they've only played like a handful of times in the last 52 years. Would you be willing to go outside your comfort zone to go see the original Alice Cooper band?
possibly, yes.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
with you, man. We'll go together.
yeah. It depends on where it is too, but I mean, unless they say, "Hey, we're going to play Madison Square Garden," then that's easy, right?
I'm
If
going.
they're
I'm
only
going
playing
no
like
matter what.
Vegas or Detroit or something like that, I'd be like, oh, okay, all right, we'll have to check it. We'll have to look into it. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool, right?
All right, no, I'm in. I'm in. Wherever it's gonna be, I'm going.
It's too bad we don't have Glenn around anymore, though, Well, because you got to figure, right? I mean, if they are going to do some kind of show, they're going to have to bring another guitar player in. So I wonder
Yes.
who. I mean, I'm assuming it'd probably be someone from Alice's regular touring band, I would think.
Yeah, but I would think so too. And I would think that like you're right. I think it's gonna be the current band that's playing this Priest tour. So I think that I'm interested to see where if they do play, how many shows it's gonna be and where these shows are gonna be.
Yeah. My guess is they're not going to announce anything like that until after the album comes out and they see what the reaction of the album is.
Yeah, good call.
I mean, if the album does well and people are all excited about it, then you got to ride that momentum, and then you say, okay, now we'll go out and we'll plan a couple shows. But if like the album comes out and nobody gives a shit, then they're obviously they want to wait and see what the reaction of the general public is going to be.
And Pete, that's a great point by you. I'm wondering, like, when you compare the album sales to like his last few solo albums, if there's going to be a difference. Are more people going to be attracted to buy it, or are you going to just get the exact same diehards that are going to buy these albums?
Uh, you want my personal opinion? I think there's
Yeah,
going to be more buzz about this one because of the historical factor of it all. It has to
I
have to be.
yeah, I would be surprised if it
Yeah,
isn't.
this is a nostalgia thing here, right? So all of a sudden you're bringing back these guys that played together like a million years ago, and so far most of what we've heard and most of what we're hearing from the fan base is that they like this, they want more of this. So I would think that there's probably going to be, if we're going to like look back on the last bunch of years. Do you remember when he did Welcome to My Nightmare Part Two? There was a fair
Yes.
bit of buzz about that because you're going back and doing kind of a sequel to a beloved album. I think this is going to generate similar type buzz because it's like, okay, here we have the big reunion of that band we love so much for the first time in a million years. So I think that it's going to be on those terms. I mean, most fans loved Road. They love the Detroit album. It's like, yeah, cool, another Alice album. This is not just another Alice album, right? This is the band. They're back. We put the band back together and they've got a whole brand new album full of stuff. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit different. I think there's going to be a lot more eyes on this, I think.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I can't. The 25th of July can't come fast enough for me.
I know, right? I mean, who knew? We got New Sticks album just came out, which I'm still waiting for my fucking copy. Where is it, damn it already? New Doobie Brothers album with Michael McDonald back in the fold for the first time in ages on an album. I think just dropped today. And then we got this coming up in a little over a month and whatever else is happening out there this year. So yeah, so far 2025 for music is turning out to be an interesting year so far.
Who would have thought that we'd be going and talking about Alice at the age of 77 reuniting with the original band? Pretty crazy. Crazy times, my friend.
Yeah, it's almost like you knew it had to happen at some point, but as every year goes on, you're thinking, yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, and boom, here you go. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see. So I'm looking forward to hearing the whole thing. Like we said, I think we're probably going to get one more song at least before the album actually streets in July, end of July. But I'll probably listen to it, even though I try to shy away from listening to all these pre-release songs. But I'm an album guy, Dave. I like to hear.
I get it, but there's two schools of thought. One, you don't want to surprise, you want to have the surprise of actually listening to it from song one to all the way to the end. But then you get a song like this one where it gets you excited. Like I am pumped about seeing what the future is with this original band. If it's just going to be the one album, or could we see some shows, or do they have enough in the can where we might see a follow up to this album as
You never
well? So
know.
I'm super duper excited about it.
You never know. And you're right, because I think that there's going to be the naysayers out there. They're like, they're all old. They haven't played together in so long. It's not going to be any good. Oh, but I'll listen to the new song anyway. Oh, that's pretty damn good. That's
Yeah.
better than I expected. That has a lot of what I loved about the original band. You know what? Maybe I will buy this album, or maybe I will listen to another song, right? Because from naysayers are very hard to twist their arms sometimes. They get stuck in this cold mindset of like, there's no way this is going to be any good. Glenn's not here anymore. There's no way it's going to be the same, right? Well, hey, maybe it is.
Well,
You won't know until you try it, right?
Pete, I got to give you a lot of credit because the music fans could be a bit toxic at times.
Oh, tell
So,
me about it.
usually for the most part, Alice fans are pretty positive, but all I've been hearing from for years is when is Alice going to get back with the original band? I'm not a big fan of the solo stuff. There's nothing better than the original band. Now, all of a sudden, the original band is back, and now I'm hearing all these people say, I always love the solo stuff more than the original band. And it's like,
You can't win.
you you can't win.
You
You
can't
can't
win.
win.
I mean, I just went through this yesterday, right? So I was at the Queensryche show up in Albany, New York yesterday. And, Queensryche has been out on the road constantly over the last bunch of years. They've released a handful of albums with Todd La Torre as the new singer. Jeff Tate is gone, right? But there's still like this percentage of people who are like, oh, no Jeff Tate, no Queensryche, right? But meanwhile, they refuse to listen to any of the new stuff. They refuse to go out and see the band playing all the classic stuff and newer stuff, right? But they're like, oh, but I'll go see Jeff Tate go and play Operation Mindcrime for the millionth time. It's like, all right, that's fine too, but at least give this a chance, right? It's like it's anyway, that's a whole tangent for another show, I think, which I've probably already done a million times, right? So yeah. Anyway, now we'll get back to you and what's going on with you. What's new with you at Busted Open and everything like that. And
Well, yeah, so you can check out Busted Open Pro Wrestling Show. We are live 7 days a week from 9 to noon Eastern Time on Sirius XM channel 156. We have two podcasts now. We have the Busted Open podcast and we have the Masters Class podcast with myself, Bully Ray, Mark Henry, and Tommy Dreamer. We just hit 50 million downloads on our Busted Open podcast, which we were able to do that in just a couple of years. And then we also have a YouTube page that we just started a little over a year ago. So if you want to see what you've been hearing, subscribe to our YouTube page as well. And that's all under the Busted Open logo. And yeah, I mean, stay tuned because we got some big news that's gonna hit over the next few weeks in our world. So hopefully we can get that hit that news before SummerSlam hits MetLife Stadium for 2 nights in early August. So yeah, a
that's
lot
almost
going
here.
on in the world of
Yeah.
wrestling.
That's
So
almost here already. It's like, God, geez,
yep,
you
crazy.
think SummerSlam, that's months away. Well, not really. Not
And
really.
Pete, two
Two
nights
nights.
at
Yeah.
MetLife Stadium. That's a big undertaking. They just started doing WrestleMania 2 nights, and now they're going to do SummerSlam 2 nights as well. So
I've gotten very used to the whole two-night WrestleMania thing, right? I used to, because I'll be honest with you, Dave, I like the fact that there are now pay-per-views and PLEs on Saturdays because I always hated the Sunday night pay-per-view night, for wrestling. It's like for WrestleMania, because it's like X amount of hours and you got to work the next day. And if you're hanging out with friends and drinking a little bit and whatever, but now the fact that they do these on Saturdays as well, I think is very, very cool. So I think that was a long time coming.
yeah, no, Money in the Bank and all the big pay-per-views are now on Saturdays.
Saturday.
And the 2 night WrestleManias is just that. It's 2 nights. So there's not those marathon 7, 8 hour shows. It's
Yeah.
it's 3.5 hours. It's perfect. And then you got AEW All In that's going to be out in Texas coming up in July as well. So it's good to have and TNA is selling out
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So, we got three major wrestling companies here in the States that are doing very, very well, doing very good business, which is good for me because then you have the expansion of Busted Open.
Yeah.
So,
It's good for the business too. I mean,
yeah.
the masses are always going to love WWE the most, right? That's always the big kahuna, but I think it's healthy for the business to have other federations that are doing pretty good business.
Yeah, and same with music. Like just because you have a favorite band, whether it's Iron Maiden, Metallica, there's no reason why you can't listen to everything.
Yeah.
Same thing with wrestling. Watch everything.
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah, for
go.
sure. And I love I always check it every day. So because I don't always get the opportunity to listen to Dave's show live on Sirius XM because I'm like right in the middle of my work day. But what I always love is like either later on that day or the next morning, I go onto the YouTube channel and it's almost like the best of yesterday's show, right? So you get like a nice hour clip of one of the segments from the show. And that's always fun to watch. And I usually always put that on, watch you and Bully and the team go through your stuff. So
I
very, very
appreciate
cool.
it. And then, and you never know when The Rock's gonna drop by.
You never know. That might happen, right? It's
Still waiting.
still
Rock, I
waiting.
know Rock watches Sea of Tranquility. So if you're watching, Rock, instead of just mentioning me on your Instagram post, maybe hop on Busted Open and
Put your money
let's
where
have
your mouth is, Rock, right?
a
Let's get
let's
it
have a
all out
face to
there.
face conversation.
It needs
So
to happen, right? This has been going on long enough, right? This back and forth. Yeah, exactly. Well,
so
you raise all great points, and I agree with you 100%. And for folks who are wondering what the fuck we're talking about, it's again more complicated than for this conversation here. But The Rock's got some splaining to do, I think, right?
yeah, and he's got a personal issue with me. So I
Yeah, he
don't
does.
know what the issue is, but Pete,
It's got to
dude,
be that
I
pink
see.
robe, Dave. It's got to be the pink robe.
Yeah, you know what? I wish I could show it to you, but it's sitting in the Hall of Fame right now.
There you
But
go.
Pete, but dude, I say it to you all the time because we're good friends off the air. But you're doing one hell of a job with the channel, the
Thank
channel's
you. I
growth.
appreciate
I
it.
know you hit over 100,000 subscribers, which is awesome. That's a great milestone. And I listen to you and Martin, Friday Funhouse and all the different spin-off shows that you have. You've done a tremendous job. You've built a very big network here for music fans. So I truly appreciate what you do. So thank you
Thank you,
for what
Dave. I appreciate it. And you as well. Everything you're doing over at Busted Open is awesome. So, two content creators right here, just stroking each other a little bit, right? That's what it's all about.
nobody else is.
Nobody else is. Someone's got to do it, right? So for everybody watching, I'll put the link to the Wild One or Wild Ones down in the comments below, so you can go check that out and let us know what you think, right? And if you are excited about the new Alice Cooper Group album coming out July 25th, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. So I want to thank Dave for coming on today and just talking a little Alice Cooper and. We'll see him again back here soon and wish him all the luck on all the stuff going on. Busted Open. Make sure to check it out on SiriusXM each and every day, as well as on YouTube. You can catch some of the recaps and things like that and podcast and all that. So Dave's out there. Go check out his content and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together. Say it, Dave.
All the damn
There
time.
you go. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. For Dave LaGreca, I am Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go Alice Cooper Group. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.